Name is Irikefe Ojegba, and this is the comparative analysis of the NIST and the DFIR framework and the ENISA ECSF. So I'll be doing an introduction for you and teaching you about these frameworks. So first, what's the purpose of the cybersecurity framework? So the role of cybersecurity framework is to provide an organized, consistent, and comprehensive approach for businesses to address and mitigate their cybersecurity risk. They act as both the universal language and a frame of reference for enhancing an organization's security position. Cybersecurity frameworks. So, what are they? They are risk management. They help in organizations identify, access, prioritize, and mitigate cybersecurity risk. They shift cybersecurity from a reactive approach to a proactive approach and risk-based one. They also establish a common language. And by saying a common language, because they provide a standardized vocabulary and set of practices for cybersecurity, enabling consistent communication with an organization, with partners, and with regulatory bodies. Lastly, they improve security posture by offering a structured roadmap framework guides organizations in implementing effective security controls and practices, leading to a stronger overall defense against cybersecurity. So, cybersecurity frameworks also has a compliance like HIPPA, GDPR, FISMA that directly mandate or strongly encourage the use of specific cybersecurity frameworks as a way to demonstrate compliance. We have the benchmark and measurement framework. So these frameworks enable organizations to evaluate their current security capabilities against a recognized standard, identify gaps, and track records over time. Guidance and best practices. They consolidate industry best practices and experts' knowledge into actionable guidelines, making it easier for organizations, especially those with limited resources, to implement a robust security measure. So, next we'll go to why compare the NIST and the ENISA. So, the reason is this. For the NIST, which is mostly for the United States, it's a framework for organizations on how to create and maintain an incident response program to lower cybersecurity risk. It is about processes and tactics. For the ENISA, it's for EU, that's European nations. It aims to highlight the importance of skills and competencies of individuals and what skills are needed in cybersecurity professionals in different roles. It is what it is for its talent for building and recruiting. Next, we're going to talk about the objectives. For the objectives of these frameworks, we talk about the objectives of the NIST. These minimize impact, it reduces the damage and cost of security, it facilitates recovery, it improves security posture, and ensures preparedness. Now we go to the components of the NIST. For the components, we have preparations, detection and analysis, containment, eradication, and recovery. We have post-incident activity, which is like what happens after it has been resolved. For the scope of the NIST, we have organizational, adaptable, life cycle oriented, and it's also process focused. Next, let's talk about the ENISA. What are the objectives of the ENISA? So the core objectives are it addresses the skill gap, it supports policy development, and facilitates mobility and recruitment. Now we will go to the ENISA components with knowledge, skills, and abilities. It has competence areas and it has domains and roles. The scope of the ENISA is it supports the life cycle, individual and workforce oriented. It's also cross sectoral. What are the main similarities difference based on predefined comparison criteria of both frameworks? Yes, for the similarities, both frameworks are functional. Both frameworks are fundamentally dedicated to enhancing cybersecurity capabilities. Both frameworks improvement oriented. Both frameworks guidance and provisions. Both frameworks are risk reductions. Now we go to the differences. What are the differences of both frameworks? That is the NIST and the ENISA. Objectives. The NIST objectives minimizes incidents, facilitates timely recovery, improve overall security posture, and ensures preparedness. For the ENISA, it addresses cybersecurity skill gaps, it standardizes roles and competencies, it facilitates professional mobility and recruitment. It guides education and training curriculum development. For components, there are four phases of for the NIST preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication, recovery, like we said, and the post-incident activity. For the ENISA, what's the components? We have domains and roles, competence areas, knowledge, skills, and abilities. For scope, we have life cycle oriented processes, we have focused and adaptable. For the ENISA scope, we have individual oriented or workforce oriented. We have the European Union focus because it's an EU framework. We have the cross sectoral, we have the descriptive and not prescriptive. Right. Up next, we discuss the case study. For the case study, we have application. All right. We have the preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication, recovery, and the post-incident activity, like we said for the ENISA. For the ENISA application, we have standardized roles, we have identifying skill gaps, and facilitating recruitment. Now we go to the conclusion. What are the key takeaways? For the key takeaways, we have that cybersecurity is a process, not a product. Frameworks emphasize the concept that security is an interactive, cyclical process that requires ongoing attention, adaptation, and performance, rather than a static investment or deployment. Holistic view. For the holistic view, a successful security strategy extends beyond just technology. For the risk management, these are risk centered frameworks aimed at managing and reducing cybersecurity risks. Not to forget, we cannot eliminate risk, we can only mitigate risk. Standardization and common language. Frameworks provide a common language and establish reference points. And people are the key is the last one here for the key takeaways. Traditionally linked to security controls, frameworks now tend to give recognition to the importance of the human factor. For my references, I looked through the NIST 2009 guide to integrating forensic techniques into incident response. And for the ENISA, I looked through the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity. That was my reference for the work. Thank you and have a wonderful day.